Al-Jazeera just released a documentary that claims Israel was built on a thriving Arab country called Palestine. There's just one small problem. Almost every proof that they bring is completely fake.
Palestine was a vibrant Arab country with a developing commercial and community infrastructure. This is the Palestinian story.
From the end of the 19th century, the region underwent rapid industrialization. Now, Al Jazeera claims this is proof of a thriving Arab country, but the evidence that they present tells a very different story. Take their first proof, where they boast of a Palestinian railway stretching from Jaffa to Jerusalem.
Palestine also developed a transport infrastructure and built a railway network to connect Jerusalem and other towns and cities with the ports on the Mediterranean. The opening of Jerusalem's main train station was a landmark event in this part of the Ottoman world.
What they conveniently left out was that this had nothing to do with Arabs. The man responsible for the railway was a Jewish banker called Yosef Navon. Now, this appropriation of Jewish history isn't a one-off. Throughout the film, Al Jazeera show buildings in Israel that they claim were made by Arabs, when in reality they were built by Jews.
يافا كانت بلد صناعي.
This is another own goal. After the railway line opened, a rich Jew called Yosef Moel grew tired of people asking him for the time so that they could catch their train. So he bankrolled another Jew, Moritz Scheinberg, to build the clock tower. The Jaffa clock tower is a Jewish tower. The film then moves from Jaffa to Haifa.
Haifa, which in 1905 achieved a very important step forward with the arrival of a branch of the Hejaz railway, and that was later used to connect to places as far away as Kirkuk in northern Iraq.
Haifa was important because both the British and the Zionists developed it into a major port. The British built the port, while the refinery was built by M.W. Kellogg, an American firm that was assisted by the Zionist construction firm Solel Bonnet. The film goes on to show photos of what they claim is a thriving Arab market, except they're Jewish stores that were also built by Solel Bonnet. And this is another Jewish neighborhood in Haifa called Herzliya. Everything that you're looking at is Jewish, including a very famous Jewish cinema. In fact, if you were to zoom in on almost any photo they use, you'll find Hebrew. So why do people claim there was a country called Palestine? Well, to answer this, we need to review the history. The Romans renamed the region Palestine when they crushed the last Jewish state 2,000 years ago. But the Jews never left the land. They remained there, and in the 19th century they began trying to re-establish a Jewish state. In contrast, the Arabs who lived there lacked a national identity. They didn't see themselves as Palestinian. Palestinian nationalism didn't exist back then. In 1920, the international community recognized that Jews should have self-determination in their ancestral land. 1 year later, the League of Nations awarded Britain a temporary mandate over Palestine on the condition they establish a Jewish national home. That's why everything we just saw was developed by the Zionists or the British. They both poured huge sums of money into the region, which in turn attracted mass Arab immigration. The numbers are staggering. Between 1882 and 1946, the Arab population ballooned from 276,000 to 1.3 million people, which the film accidentally confirms.
بيافا أو بفلسطين بالكامل العمال اللي كانت تيجي عليها من أقطار الشرق الأوسط فيش بلد ما كان لهاش عمال بيافا من لبنان، سوريا، الأردن، مصر، اليمن، الحجاز، مراكش، كله عشرات ألوف العمال.
Despite what Al Jazeera claims, there was never a country called Palestine. Before the Zionist project, it was a scarcely populated backwater province in the Ottoman Empire. which is a major inconvenience for the filmmakers, as to make their claim that it was an Arab country, they're forced to rewrite history and pass off Jewish industry and Jewish development as Arab. By the way, Al Jazeera aren't the only ones. Watch the New York Times lie about Israel in this video.